the Mario franchise has been around for about 35 years at this point, and the time span has actually been 18 games. Some of them I'm a big fan of, and some of them not so much. So in this video, I'm going to be ranking all 18 of them. I'm not including Bowser's Fury or any spin-off games like the Mario Kart series or the sports games. So let's get started. 18. Super Mario Land. Given this was the first handheld entry to the series, this is a really short game. There's only 4 worlds, meaning only 16 levels in the whole game. And the physics are really weird. When you fall like an infinite pound brick. And the level design isn't the best either. And the sprites are really small. But this is on a Game Boy, so you've kinda gotta cut some slack. 17. Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels. Or Super Mario Bros. 2, depending on where you live. This game manages to annoy the crap out of you as much as possible. The level design can be sluggish at times, and the enemies are even more annoying to deal with. And this game has warps, yeah, but get this. Some of them take you back. This game was only released in Japan because Nintendo knew that it would hurt the game franchise, and it really would. 16. Super Mario Bros. 2. The game is just a reskin of Doki Doki Panic, and is also really hard, which is one of its flaws. It's not as hard as Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels, but still, I don't really have fun whenever I'm playing this game. The game's level design is just alright, and the way that you get lives is really annoying. Basically, depending on how many coins you collect in one level, you'll insert all your coins into a slot machine. And if you time it right, which on some has mostly no strategy, you'll press the A button 3 times. And for each slot, if you get the same picture on all 3 of them, then you'll get a life. This game is also kind of annoying to deal with, but it did introduce some staples to the Mario franchise, like Birdo and the Shy Guys, for example. 15. Super Mario Bros. The first game in the franchise. The game was pretty fun and had great level design. Well, maybe besides some of World 8's stages, but I'm not sure about that. This game has a good amount of warps, and the levels aren't obnoxious. But the bosses are really underwhelming because you're fighting the same boss 8 times in a row. That gets pretty old really quick. 14. New Super Mario Bros. 2. Even though the name doesn't make any sense because it's the third game of the NSMB franchise, whatever. This game is really mediocre, and the main gimmick is collecting a bunch of coins. The game has good level design, but it didn't keep Yoshi in the game like NSMB Wii did. It has 2 good power-ups, the Gold Flower and the Gold Tanuki, but it's not the best NSMB game, and it can be really mediocre at times, and it's way too easy. 13. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This is the second game in the NSMB franchise. The level design isn't always the best, to be honest, but like, look at this. You tell me that's good level design? But the game did introduce 3 of my personal favorite power-ups in the Mario franchise: the Propeller Suit, the Ice Flower, and the Penguin Suit. It's a fun game and also has some secrets to discover within the levels, but it's not the worst NSMB game. 12. New Super Mario Bros. This game was really gonna start the overly hated NSMB franchise, and also was the start of really easy Mario games. This game had some really creative bosses, like Mummy Pokey, for example. I don't really like the final bosses of each world. It's always either Bowser or Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is way too simple and easy. Every castle is also kind of pathetic at times. The game is really easy, and the Bowser fight's literally just the same as the original Super Mario Bros., but he fires 3 fireballs sometimes. But it's still a good game, and you can't deny its recognition. 11. Super Mario Land 2. Being the sequel to my least favorite Mario game, my expressions were pretty accurate. The game's graphics are pretty similar to Super Mario World in a way. Super Mario Land didn't really feel that much like a Mario game, but this one does a lot more. The game looks pretty good for a Game Boy game, and also has some absolute great level design. It also has a new power-up, the Bunny Suit. It's basically the Tanuki, but you can't fly in the air, you just hover. But this game is really creative, and it's one of my personal favorites in the series, and I can go back to it all the time. 10. New Super Mario Bros. U. By far the best NSMB game. This one brought back Yoshi, but sadly you can't bring him with you out of a level. But they did add another kind of Yoshi, the godlike Baby Yoshi. There's multiple versions of the Baby Yoshi, but I've only used 2, and I think there only is 2. My favorite is the pink Yoshi. Every time you press the R button, the Yoshi will bring you up higher into the air a little bit. And the blue Yoshi shoots bubbles, and it can really just easily make everything turn into a coin or a power-up. You can do this with enemies. This game also has a good final boss. It's a pretty solid Mario game. It's just not my personal favorite, really. 9. Super Mario Galaxy. To be honest, the Galaxy series The Galaxy series is really on the overrated side of Mario games. You need a nunchuck to play this game, and well, yeah, it makes sense but for some people who don't have the nunchuck, they could have just let you use the rear mode sideways, with 1 spin attacking and 2 jumping, and of course the D-pad to move and the B button to crouch, baby. The game's got good level design, but it's my least favorite 3D Mario game. But it does get boring after like a week or so of playing, and personally for me, I don't really like going back to this game. 8. Super Mario Galaxy 2. This game is better than Galaxy 1 because it's got more power-ups, and my personal favorite is the Cloud Flower because it breaks the game generally. This game also has better level design, but the hub world isn't as good as the Comet Observatory. Now it's just a Mario head, but that's barely even a problem in my opinion. 7. Super Mario Bros. 3. This game has one of the best power-ups of all time, the Tanuki Leaf. This game is one of my personal favorites and isn't that easy, but it's not that hard either. The level design is amazing, and the game has, well, yeah, the graphics don't hold up today as much as, say, Super Mario World or maybe even Mario 64. The game looks pretty good, and the final world is fun, besides like 3 annoying airships to deal with, but World 8 and the final castle are really fun parts of the game. And whistles instead of the warps are a really cool addition to the game, and toad houses are really creative as well. 6. Super Mario Odyssey. I wasn't ever the biggest fan of this Mario game, mainly because I had rarely played it. I think it's a creative game, and the addition of Cappy is pretty cool. And one of my favorite aspects of the game is being able to play Mario 64 version of the game, with the castle, Mario 64 skin, and the moves being replaced with stars. And my favorite part about this game is the Mario Sunshine skin. If I ever were to get a Switch, I'd definitely be willing to play Mario Odyssey and get to know this game a lot more, but I don't really have a Switch and I rarely played this game when I was younger, so it's kind of holding me back. 5. Super Mario 64. The first 3D game in the series isn't my favorite, to be honest. This game is pretty overrated. That's not to say it's a bad game, because it isn't. It's a good game. I just prefer 4 other games in the series. This game's main gimmick is that you collect at least 7 power stars, or if you're a speedrunner, then you collect 0 to finish the game. And it has pretty good level design, and the stars are fun to finish, but after a while, the game can get boring. I specifically mean replaying the game for 100% and playing the game regularly. It doesn't really get boring. But if you just want to replay the game for multiple times, then it does get boring easily after a while. 4. Super Mario World. This game is really fun to play. The game, of course, introduced Yoshi, and depending on what shell Yoshi holds in his mouth, the different ability Yoshi has. The green shell is just shooting out a regular shell. The red shell is 3 fireballs. The blue shell lets Yoshi fly, and the yellow shell allows Yoshi to stomp on the ground and defeat all enemies on screen or near you. The game's music is pretty amazing, and the graphics hold up despite it being a 90s game, and the final boss is personally one of my favorites. 3. Super Mario 3D Land. This game is really nostalgic, and me playing this, I'd never really get bored of it. When I was younger, it was so fun, and at the time, it was my favorite Mario game in the franchise. The game's music is absolutely amazing, and the level design is really fun. It also has 8 special worlds, most of the levels just being harder remakes of the main levels in the game, but that's not really the worst thing of all time if you ask me. And the final boss is one of my favorites, not only the music, but also the boss itself. This is one of the games that always comes to my mind if I think about Mario. 2. Super Mario 3D World. This game is essentially a sequel to 3D Land, but it's got better bosses, more open levels, and more characters. 3D Land only had 2, while 3D World now has 5. And they all have different abilities. My favorite characters to play as in 3D World definitely have to be Toad and Peach. I'm really an impatient guy when it comes to video games, so I mostly play as Toad. My favorite level had to be Scrolling Savannah because of the part that actually feels and looks open world. Also has every power-up that's in 3D Land and a new power-up, of course, the Cat Bell. 1. Super Mario Sunshine. What else would it be? Like, this game is so fun. The new edition of Flood, and it introduced the best Mario character of all time. Of course, Bowser Jr. The boss isn't particularly my favorite in the franchise, but man, this game can be so fun all the time. And it has really good open world level design, and gosh dang amazing. The mid bosses are pretty good. The only stage I don't really like that much is Serena Beach, but I've played this game enough to have mastered the stage. So yeah, this is a pretty fun game, and it's my personal favorite in the whole franchise.